Yeah, hope everyone are back from the break. So let me get started. Myself, Amarnath, I'm a technical consultant at Salesforce, and I have 7 years of total experience and 5 years of relevant experience in MuleSoft. As you can see, I've been MuleSoft mentor for the past 2 years, and I have completed most of my MuleSoft certifications. Since you are in Salesforce, you get all your certifications free. So yeah, before we dive into today's presentation, I'd like to start with a quick show of hands. So how many of you have had the chance to explore ACB, the Anypoint Code Builder? You can raise your hands if you have. I mean, considering that it is still in beta phase, you can raise. I was just seeing here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, partially. That's fine. So it seems few of us have some experience with it, which is great to see. But for those who haven't explored ACB, perhaps you opened the UI, glanced at the UI, and you saw that why the flows are going downwards instead of the sideways, right? And also you thought, why do you need to, I mean, write your own XML instead of a drag and drop? So that's where, I mean, I completely understand that sentiment because I was in the same position and I was preferring the familiarity of Anypoint Studio. So, however, in today's presentation, I would like to showcase a particular feature within ACP that I believe could significantly shift your perspective on these the capabilities of ACP. And we will explore how this feature can not only enhance your development process, but also make it faster and more efficient for us. So before we do that, let's recap on ACP. So Anypoint Code Builder currently is in beta phase, and it is a MuleSoft state-of-the-art IDE integration development, and it provides a seamless modern development experience with a unified IDE environment. And what sets Anypoint Code Builder apart is I mean, it is built on the Visual Studio Code, so which offers contemporary development setting. And gone are the days where developers had to switch between design and development. With the help of Anypoint Code Builder, you can start your design, development, and also you can directly deploy your applications through the code builder. So now we have highlighted the features of Anypoint Code Builder. Let's move ahead. And so in this slide, for those who are familiar with Anypoint Code Builder, we always had two methods of starting your build. So one was clicks in the canvas, where you click on this plus icon and you can add your component. So that was the first method. And the second method is, I mean, if you wanted more grind control, you can always go to that particular example and you can edit it. So now there is a third method. So before I move to the third method, so let's do a quick brainstorm. So what comes to your mind when you hear the word Einstein?
E is equal to mc square.
I think you saw my slides. So what else? E is equal to mc square.
It's more related to AI kind of thing. Yeah, AI kind of way.
Yeah.
Amar, hold on. Your screen is not visible. Are you sharing your screen?
Oh, sorry. I think.
There only you can share. You're in call, right?
You can share. For you, it's virtual.
But
Yeah, now it's
sharing. Okay. Okay, fine. I mean, at least for the slideshow. Okay. So where were we? I think E equal to mc square. I hope no one saw the next two words. But yeah, you can go ahead. Even people who are online. So what do you think when you hear the word Einstein? Don't tell me Oppenheimer. Okay, let me see. Theory of relativity, or even the great genius Albert Einstein himself. But in Salesforce ecosystem, Einstein refers to a suite of AI technologies, so which is integrated within Salesforce CRM platform. So these tools leverage AI and machine learning to provide advanced analytics. So it provides us predictive insights and automation capabilities, and also to help business make more informed decision, and also to optimize customer interactions and overall efficiency. Even Einstein is integrated with all the Salesforce applications. If you see Slack or even within the CRM platform, so Einstein has been integrated. And now, if you see the next slide, so this is where we arrive, the third method of building our integrations. So we have included this Einstein or this AI persona into the Anypoint Code Builder, which gives us our third method of building integrations, where you can get started by giving the prompts to Einstein. You describe your business logic, and Einstein will work for you, and it will give you the flow that you are looking for. And coming to this slide, so this basically says that Einstein is, I mean, ACB is available, that is in beta phase, but Einstein, it is currently in closed beta. I mean, you all might have reached out to Sabrina or the community leaders. They might have told that, I mean, plan is to release Einstein somewhere in October, starting from October 2024. We have plans to release Einstein within ACB. And once it is released, I mean, when I'm giving my demo, I will just show you how to enable it once you have the access. So moving ahead, I have kept this slide. It's kind of a GIF where it shows how the flows are getting generated. I mean, once I show the demo, I'll show this in more detail. But as you can see here, so if Einstein is enabled for you, you can see two boxes here within the canvas. So one is start with A and start from scratch. But if you open your Anypoint Code Builder now, you can see only one, start with scratch, since you don't have access to the Einstein. And also, as you can see here, currently there are some optimizations that are done for our basic connectors, Salesforce, database, HTTP, email, and whatnot. And it's been improving, so they will add few more connectors going ahead. And yeah, that's all. I mean, that's enough said. We will go to the demo. Okay. So I'll open the Visual Studio Code.
I think your screen shared.
Yeah, you
Oh,
share it.
okay, okay. Reshare it. Yeah, it's fine. So I have one demo project built, but let me just create a new mule configuration file within ACB. I'll just say demo. So can anyone tell me, I said that, right? I have Einstein access, but why am I seeing only the first flow? Any idea?
Not enabled.
Yeah.
Natural prompting. We have some prompt.
Yeah, we have that, but what I was asking is, as I was showing in the previous slide, there should be two boxes, one start with A and start with scratch. So why am I not seeing that? If I think Mohsin guessed it, because I am not logged into my Anypoint platform, because this Einstein access is given at a platform level. So let me do that. Okay. So as soon as I'm logged in, you can see the Einstein prompt. So here I will just say open Einstein. And let me expand this so that everyone can see. So this is your canvas, this is your XML view, and this is the Einstein view that is open to your right hand side. So as you can see here, there are two example prompts that are already given. So for example, we have create a flow that syncs the phone field of account between a Salesforce or and a database. So let me click on this. So it says Einstein is composing. Let's see how long will it take. I mean, this is a simple, yeah, it's done. Took around 5 to 6 seconds max, and you can see that flow generated for you. So along with this, the dependencies will get automatically added once you insert, yeah, that I will show next. But yeah, this is the output you got from Einstein. So apart from this, Einstein also provides a summary of what the code is given. So what the code it has generated, so it would give the summary for that. And here we have two options. So one is you can directly copy this code and you can insert it into your XML, or you can directly copy this code and you can insert it in your studio if you are stuck anywhere within the flow. I mean, once the access is enabled at least. And there is this cool feature where you can insert the code into the Mule application directly. So if I click on this, so it just moves there. So the entire flow got moved to your actual XML path. And so this is one prompt that I have given. And for the purpose of this demo, I had written some prompt. Let me get that. Okay. So this prompt, what I'm giving is the second prompt. So this generates a flow that reads account data from a CSV file and then it creates it in Salesforce. So let me try this one.
This one is a desktop application.
This is a Visual Studio code.
Visual.
We have Cloud IDE as well, but going ahead, they are pushing more towards Visual Studio code. So as you can see here, it has generated the flow, giving all the values that are needed and parameters. So I can modify this according to my requirement. It's not like it will give you the entire project from end to end. It's just a scratch. I mean, see, as soon if you see this canvas, right, initially, so it's like you don't have anything. I mean, you feel like it, sometimes it feels like an empty canvas syndrome. So you don't know where to start. And so Einstein is there to enable to get started faster. So it makes you more efficient. And yeah. So along with the flow details, we have the summary as well. So I'll just close this. I've already built the demo in the interest of time. Let me just delete this. And yeah, I've already built and I've already added the configuration properties and everything. And let me run this project.
So for that, what requirement is given?
Environment, I've given it as
No,
dev.
no, no. What the requirement is?
Requirement, the same requirement I showed you. Yeah, it is just, if you can see the prompt here, creating a flow that reads data from CSV file and connect to Salesforce and insert those accounts. So one thing I wanted to mention here as well, if you can see the ACB, the deployments are like faster. If you saw the demo before, we had, I mean, even here we have not added much components. I mean, as and when the project goes and dependency gets added, it will take time. But compared to what we do with Anypoint Studio, the ACB is much faster. This is also another reason to consider ACB. Don't think that I'm doing marketing for it, but so this. So this is already deployed. Within a blink of an eye it will deploy, and I have created I have installed this extension within the Visual Studio Code to test it. So let me send the query.
How it is adding dependency?
So dependency, sorry, who was the question? Okay, so the dependency, it automatically gets added once there was a component, right, to push the flow, I mean, that piece of code that Einstein generated into your flow. So as and when it gets added to your flow, the dependency automatically gets added, and not all the dependencies. For example, if it is a Salesforce connector you are using, right, you need to configure it. You need to pass the username. So all those things are already done. So let me just send this request. Yeah, we got 200. Okay. And if we go back to Salesforce and search those accounts that I have inserted. Oh, sorry.
Account.
Yeah, accounts. So actually I read those data from here. So if you can see, I have name, phone number and billing state. So I've given all the accounts. So my implementation or my use case, it is reading from this file using a file FTP connector. I mean, we can do this on our own. I mean, if we have any points to do, this is a simple use case. But it took me like around just 5 or 6 seconds just to get started, so that I need not write the entire flow. You know that, right? Within ACB, you have to sometimes you have to write your own XML. So that is where it comes. And even if you can see here, all the accounts has been inserted. Yeah. So this is what is coming soon to ACB. So the last part, which is in purple, even I am very excited about, to be honest. So the data wave code generation part. So basically, it helps you generate the code. I mean, how many of you have asked the chat GPT and it has given you its own function, which doesn't exist at all. But if it is coming from Einstein with the capability of MuleSoft, and they are the owners of this product, and they'll be able to give you a better code. I mean, at least if you have written some data wave, maybe you can ask Einstein that, I mean, make this data wave more efficient, how to make it more efficient. So you can do that using this one. So yeah, as I told, they are also adding few more connectors. So right now, some pretty basic connectors, Salesforce, I think HTTP, email, these are all optimized. But in future, when the general availability is there, so you will get more connectors which are compatible with Einstein.
So one small question here. So yeah, as of now, whatever the commands you give, or whatever the description you give, based on that, actually, it has created a query for you, right?
Yeah.
Query is for something like this. So considering that, so any kind of complex query also, it will be able to write like some multiple, something like master detail relationships and all these things. So it can be able to do it. Or
so basically, you can see here. I mean, it is still in beta phase. It is actually, I mean, not even beta. It is a closed beta. So they are not giving access to the general public. So it's only for Salesforce employees. So to be honest, even we are kind of using this feature, and we are working with the product team to identify if there are any bugs. So it is in that phase. I have not explored completely, but whatever I could. I mean, sometimes, I mean, to be honest, in the meetup, right, I have got some wrong outputs from myself. That's why I'm saying it's still in beta phase. So you can always, there is a room to improve, and even the product team is working on to build it and release it to general public in October. So I think once the general availability is released, right, so we will have more confidence that is able to generate. Maybe I will show you one more. So we have this sample use case, generate a flow that sends an email, then a new case is created in Salesforce. So this is another sample kind of flow they have given here. I mean, you can use this code and you can modify it however you want. So as I said initially, right, it is kind of a template for you to get started. It's not an end-to-end implementation that Einstein is able to provide as of now. But yeah, who knows? In the future, we will have that as well. I mean,
Yeah, but in that case, actually, that the appropriate developer should also have the knowledge on the CRM application.
right.
How to write the SOP query or SOSL query, because only then he can write the appropriate query and modify according to his own basis.
So if we see the features list, right, I think if you see the last feature, so they are saying this is a beta that is that they are going to release in June. So here using the users data or whatever the data we have within in our own flows, so it will utilize that data and Einstein will be able to read that data and generate the flows for you. So that is still upcoming. And actually, one thought I had is, I mean, see, this Einstein is currently in beta, but what if, I mean, what if they generate a feature where Einstein is able to parse your logs, entire logs? I mean, we know that we can send it to an external loggers, but what if Einstein is able to parse the entire log since it is built on GPT-4 and it is able to pinpoint that location? So this is one use case that I thought of. Anything else? Anyone has any idea? Maybe I'll try to correlate to the product team. So it feels good.
In that case, when you are talking, because you are about the reverse engineering,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still in the you can say like middle phase. So when we go in that way, like reverse engineering, like we are trying to get it, we have so much tolerance already. So if log will be passed, we have the infra-related parameter will be passed. Then we can get the conclusion like what is breaking down the what is happening on the application.
Correct.
Maybe the infra or the code or
Yeah, right.
legal memory, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If there is some issue, we have to go, we have to debug, right? So that's what I thought. I mean, if we have Einstein do it for us to pinpoint a particular issue where the issue is happening, and even sometimes when we are working on a project, we will try to note down all the errors that are frequently occurring, so that the new developers or anyone new comes, they won't face that issue again, and they can get started easily.
But at this phase, like when we are writing the code, it's giving something like that one in seconds it can be generated.
Yeah.
Likewise, like when we are writing the code, it may be optimal for 1,000 hits per second kind of, or it may break on the million hits.
Yeah,
So that
makes sense.
kind of things can be come up with this code.
Right, right. Yeah.
That can be.
Sure. I'll just make a note of it, and if given an opportunity, I'll definitely let the product team know, because as of now, it's kind of in a feedback phase where we are testing the intent vigorously and giving them feedback. Not even Einstein, I mean, even ACB as well. We are testing it and.
Also generate
Emirates, yeah, that feature is still upcoming. So that was the most requested feature for ACB. In every meetups, I could hear this one question. So support for Emirates in ACB, that they are still working on. I think once it's generally available, I think it should be enabled, because Emirates is the life of MuleSoft. So.
How about a global error handling? Because anyway, we know the errors what we are frequently getting.
Yeah.
So in Einstein, like he can have some by default error handling that at least it will catch maximum.
Right. We can define the global error handling so that once we get started with the project, I mean, we can utilize that error handling for even other projects as well, if we build a common error handling, right?
Yeah.
But as of now, I think it's only supporting the flows generation.
Is yet to be
Yeah, yet to be added.
I mean,
So-
you guys started developing that or not started?
No, not me. I am I am still working on MuleSoft and I am layman term. So how you use ChatGPT, I will use Einstein. So that is done by product team. So there is a different team does that. But what I was saying is, I mean, if you have got confused, what I was saying is, I can give this feedback because the community, they needs to hear the community feedback as well, right? They would have got from us, but if I can correlate these, whatever the logging you have mentioned, I think I'll correlate that as well, and the common error handling part. That should be.
And we have some promptings, right? So instead of prompting, we don't have voice.
Voice.
maybe the
So
next
do
feature.
you have that in
Once
chat?
we have
It's
full
more
version.
easier because.
You have that in chat.
We have.
We have it,
We
right?
have it.
Yeah, once we have the full version of this here, then
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah, instead of send here, we will have one that mic button. And here you can directly. I mean,
I mean, this one is something limited. I mean, they are giving only 2 prompts and whatever they have.
I mean, yeah, it's in beta phase.
So,
That's why.
Yeah, if they have voice, they will get to know what users are expecting. So
Yeah,
they
maybe-
can give more prompts better than this.
Correct.
So as of now, they have limited, we have this much, so you have to use this. So to develop this better, if they have voice also,
Yeah,
they can give more prompts and it will be more easy for the developers.
we can ask the client directly to describe their use case here. If we have the voiceover, Einstein will generate our entire project for you. There won't be a need of developer. But
See,
yeah,
some
I was just kidding.
So some definitely, I mean, human being has to interfere because we have some credentials and we have to get it from some other place. That and all, everything won't be automatic. Somewhere definitely we need manual work.
Yeah.
So that's where definitely they need human
Definitely,
beings.
it's manual work is there because as of now, whatever flow that it generates when it gets inserted into the XML view, right? It's not like entire thing is done. There are a lot of debugging you have to do, and the common components, whatever you have built, you have to include it here. And one more thing I forgot to tell. In future, there will be an option to, I mean, get the details from Exchange as well. So you can import your data from Exchange and you can implement it in your Anypoint Studio. Right now, it's that feature is not there, but you can deploy from Anypoint Studio. You can directly deploy it to your Cloud Hub. So you can mention that. And apart from that, let me check if we have any questions online. Anything else here?
There is one question we can have, like, what about the security of our data when we are using the prompt engineering to work with the
Yeah.
Einstein? So how secure the data is being stored by sales?
So yeah, that part I haven't explored it. There was some, there was some slides that was explaining how the data is stored and how the prompt engineering was as soon as you give the prompt. So how it works, but those were kind of confidential. I was not allowed to share it with the public until it is at least generally available. But I didn't get a chance. But yeah.
The enterprise will be looking for the those part especially.
Yeah, I think once it is generally available, maybe Sham will do a quick online with Alex. We can always wait for that.
We have to wait for Shyam more than the sales force.
Yeah.
Give us the insights.
Yes, yes. So whatever time it is released, be it any time, APAC or EMEA, so Sham will be there. He'll be doing the live. So
So when we are designing and deploying to ARM, so every company uses different tools, Jenkins or
yeah.
Bitbucket or something. So what we are doing here?
So here we are directly deploying it to Cloud Hub. It is not going through any pipeline. So ACB, I don't think it is still enabled to do that. Whatever we could do in Studio, right? We can give the in the pom.xml. We can always give the pipeline configurations and directly automate that CI/CD. But CI/CD part, I don't think ACB is still capable of doing that. I mean, once emulates and everything is done,
Yeah.
so they will slowly release out all the features. So the idea is to just replace Anypoint code builder. I mean, Anypoint Studio. So I'm not sure.
Yeah,
How-
because definitely they are deploying, right?
Hmm.
So definitely they are using behind the, I mean, we are not able to see that, but definitely they are using something to deploy.
Yeah. I
Directly
mean,
here on the.
see, you within Anypoint Studio you can deploy it to the cloud up, right? From the
Yeah,
Anypoint
yeah.
Studio. So the same feature it is there. But the pipeline features, CI/CD capabilities, they still have to.
No, but we don't push it directly to Python. Let it go to
Yeah.
Git.
Yeah.
We push the code and it goes to
Correct.
Python. VS Code has the extensions for the Git as well. You can.
We can use the extensions. We can make use of those extensions.
Anything on this?
Migration, Mule 3 to Mule 4.
Yeah, migration,
Amendment
that
tool.
will be more useful.
Yeah, this one I think I'll definitely note this point and.
Because I see a lot of migration things are coming up. They wanted to directly point to the new Java 17.
Right.
0.6. Straight away from 3 to 4.
Even right. So apart from Mule 3 to Mule 4, we have this Cloud Up 1 to Cloud Up 2 migration projects as well. So let's see. I mean, where it comes once if it is when it is generally available. Let's see how capable ACB is. I mean, along
So
with.
we have already MMA for the migration,
Mhm.
but that's not that useful actually.
Yeah, that's
So if
not
we
an
have,
issue.
yeah, so if we have Java code,
Mhm.
I mean, if Einstein helps us, so we can
Yeah.
do it easily.
Right. I don't know if let it write the data view code first. After that, we'll ask for the Java code. But data view, I think Java is like easily available wherever you go. Stack Overflow, you can always get the code. But data wave is kind of difficult. I mean, even if you write some code, there will be two other versions. You can make it more efficient. So that's where data wave code power lies in. And yeah, I think we don't have any questions online. Yes, yeah, everyone is clear. So yeah, with that, if we don't have any questions, I'll start. The meeting.
Yeah, hi all. Good afternoon. I'm Sindhu H. I'm working as an associate software developer at Voltech. I have around 2 years of experience in IT. In that 1 year of experience in MuleSoft, I'm a MuleSoft certified developer in L1 and L2. And recently, I have nominated as a MuleSoft mentor. So let's get started with the topic. MDC logger. The MDC log will walk you through the overview of MDC logger, prerequisites, the operations and scopes available in MDC loggers, and the importance of that MDC loggers, and then the demo. The MDC loggers. Before MDC loggers, we all know about the loggers. Loggers, we used to track the particular event. By default, loggers will have two entries. One is a processor and the event. The processor have the location of the event. Event has the correlation ID. Correlation ID is the unique ID for the, it automatically generates when the event started. So, along with these two entries, the MDC logger allows to add the more contextual information in the log messages. So, for that, to add the contextual information in the log messages, we need to use the mule tracing module that is easily available in the exchange with the latest version 1.1.0. So it provides some operations and scopes to add the contextual information inside the logger. So to add the MDC contextual information inside the logger, there are some prerequisites. So first we need to import the mule tracing module into our mule application. Then we have log4j2.xml file inside the source main resource folder. So in that we need to change the pattern layout for the MDC. Like we need to provide the percentage MDC instead of by default we have processor and the event. Instead of that processor and event, we need to provide the percentage MDC thing. So the appended stack is describes the location of the logs we need to provide. Like rolling life is a file that file, database, and console. We have the three locations. So in the console tag, we have target. The target provide by default system out. It will show like the logs will print in the output state. And also we have the system error that will says that the logs will print in error stream, and the pattern layout as the MDC. Then the operations and scopes. There are three operations and one scope. The three operations are set logging variable, remove logging variable, and clear logging variables. And one scope with correlation ID. Set logging variables, we need to set the logging variables. So to print the log, to print in the log messages. So we have two attributes: variable name and value. We need to provide the name of the variable and the value. Value can accept any mule expression languages. After some event happens, if you don't want to print that logging variable, so you can use that remove logging variable with by providing the name of the variable. So it will remove only one variable. Clear logging variables, it will remove all the logging variables what you are set using set logging variables. By using set logging variables, you can set only one variable. By you can add more components of the set logging variables. Then you have then you can able to set the log variables whatever you based on the requirements. And the with correlation ID is the scope. By using with correlation ID, we can customize the correlation ID. Say, for example, in some scenarios, the correlation ID may differ from like as you see in point MQ from publisher flow and subscriber flow. Publisher flow has one correlation ID and the subscriber flow has another correlation ID. So make it unique correlation IDs with the two flows. You can use with correlation ID, then you can provide the correlation ID there. Then the importance of MDC loggers. Contextual insights, like the developers can have the valuable insights into the flow of data throughout the MuleSoft application. So it can be easy to track the behavior of the system and identify the issues easily. And the efficient debugging. The developers can easily debug easily trace the execution path across different components and services in the MuleSoft application. Then it makes it easy. It reduces the time taken to identify the issue. And customization and flexibility. Based on our needs, we can add the variables, remove the variables inside the loggers. So it provides customization and flexibility in the loggers. So let's get started with that. So here, by using set logging variable, I have set a customer ID, customer name, and the request path. So the value can be any mule expression language. So after I'll debug once. I'll try to execute. In the payload, I have provided customer ID and customer name. So it's deployed. Here you can see that set logging variable. I'm setting the customer ID, customer name by using payload, payload.customer ID and payload.customer name, and the request path. Then, if you see in the logs, here we are seeing correlation ID, customer ID, customer name, and the processor path and the request path. So these are all the three customized information, contextual information I have added using set logging variables. Here I have removed the logging variable customer name. So in the logger, we can see that the customer name is not printed. Based on the developer requirements, we can use the logging variables wherever you want to be set or to be removed, like that. Here, by using clear logging variables, we can clear all the variables what are all set. Here, there is no contextual information. These are all the three operations that from MDC loggers. Sorry, I have not shown the log 4j2.5. Here, I have set as the pattern layout percentage MDC. This is the prerequisite. Without this, it won't show the contextual information in the logs. And by using with correlation ID. In with correlation ID, here I have provided the customized correlation ID. We can provide any string. So here you can see the console. There is no there is a correlation ID like this. So I am replacing this correlation ID by using with correlation ID. See, this is just I have set the username to set the logging variable here.
Yes.
correlation ID is changed to meetup MDC logger flow. Meetup MDC logger flow with correlation ID scope. Just I have set the logging variable and here I can see the variable username Mary. And with MQ, I have here I have set the correlation ID inside the user properties. So after publishing, while subscribing, this correlation ID will come under the attributes dot correlation ID. By using that, we can able to get the same correlation ID in both the events. Here we can see the correlation ID is 4949. While subscribing, here. See, the correlation ID is different now for the subscriber flow. Here I'm using a set variable to set that attributes.properties.correlation ID. So by using that, I'm adding the correlation ID by using VATs. You can use this also to set here, and I'm printing the logger. So here this is the publisher correlation ID. This is the subscriber correlation ID. So again we are changing the providing the correlation ID that we are getting in a publisher event. So here we can track the both the events by using single correlation ID.
Somebody had a question, right? How to access that properties?
This is about MDC logger. If we are doing bulk operations with let's assume with the orders, we in that only one orders failed. So by using MDC loggers, we can easily by providing the unique IDs in the logging variables, we can easily track that which order is failed. So we can reduce the time to check the orders which is failed, and we can easily debug those things. So for that purpose, those purposes, we are using MDC loggers. Any questions?
Can you explain this part?
Which one?
Last one which you do.
We are doing, let's assume we are doing some bulk operations, 50 orders, bulk operations. While using MDC loggers, you can set the set log variables, the order ID. You can set the order ID in the logging variable. So if among 50, if one order is failed due to some issues, you can by tracking in that by using MDC logger order ID, you can get to know that which order ID is failed.
Okay, since we are saving it.
Yes.
Because
That we
using
can check in
batch,
logs.
Yes, that we can check in
because
logs.
using in batch, if one fails also it still continues,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Will not be able to keep
Yeah.
track. So in that cases, you can just put order ID as a set logging variable.
Then you can easily track which order is failed.
So for one flow, we'll have one correlation ID. Right? So in case of multiple flow on any event, suppose you are doing order or messaging, sending, or any activity, we'll have multiple flow involved. So in that case, we can write or customize one ID, maybe correlation ID or order ID or any event ID that will have this all correlation ID. Am I right? What do you mean?
Yeah, by using with correlation ID, you will set the correlation ID for with the first flow, right? First event.
Suppose we have five flow in a event. So these five correlation ID will be there since we have the five different flow. But in this event, like order placement, we have five flow. So we can customize the correlation ID or some parameter or some event ID and we'll put everywhere in the correlation ID or somewhere in the log so that we can track the whole event on all correlation ID.
So you can manually, there are two things. One, if you want to put it to the loggers, you can set the tracking variables. So that will be printed as part of your contextual text in the loggers. The second thing is you can customize your correlation ID itself. So in the flows, the further flows where you're using, if you're using this with correlation ID scope and setting a customized correlation ID, so everything, all the other five flows will have the same correlation.
Okay, these events or the flow may be of a different organization, something like this units will find.
Yes, if you are able to access that correlation ID, like suppose this is like a publisher subscriber event, so that is fine. But you can set any string, to be honest. So you can just set some string across all the organizations and can still be tracked.
Yeah, as I said, with correlation ID can accept any string.
We have one thing that removing variable and clearing the variables. So that how it works, I mean, you have any examples for that?
Like some event happens, we are setting customer ID, customer name both in the starting of the transaction. After some event happens, you don't want to print the customer name in the login message. Then you can remove that customer name logging variable. After that, it will print only customer ID. So based on the needs, you can remove the variables.
I think you can show the first.
And one more we have no after clearing the variable last option. I don't remember that.
With correlation.
That is with
With
correlation.
correlation. That is a scope.
Okay.
Here, so all this is part of the tracing module that
See,
you have
here
to
we can
import
see
it.
the operations and scopes. Clear logging variables, remove logging variable, set logging variable, and with correlation ID.
Tracing, no?
Tracing module, mule tracing module. We need to import from Exchange.
It's available in 1.1.
1.1.
That's the latest version that's available. It's managed by Mute.
It is
Okay. This is the only version available as of now.
as of the latest version.
That's the latest version.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think online people are you guys listening? No questions from you for the past two sessions. Someone can just put a message online, guys. Are you even listening? I think we have only 5 participants, out of which 2 are Zoom. Others must be sleeping.
So we can close the virtual session. So I gave a good news in last session that we'll be
I'll
giving
give
the.
a closing here.
Sure.
Or you can give a closing.
From the laptop here.
This. You can stand and speak.
Who is going here? So, you can stop the recording. Pause, answer, pause. I did